Reverend Uki MacIssac, was ordained at Harmony Grove and has been serving at the Grove as a minister for over 25 years. Reverend Uki is also an intuitive counselor and spiritual psychic. Through her gift of clairvoyance, she empowers her clients to integrate their spiritual purpose and live a fuller, more meaningful life. Having overcome a life-threatening illness more than once, her mission is to teach, heal, and inspire others to heal themselves by connecting to the power of spirit within. Past life regression and soul retrieval and other specialties with which she serves her clients also. With her beloved husband, Gary, Uki resides in San Diego and North County. Together, they offer popular monthly meditations and angel messages events. In her own words, "My life is my ministry, and nothing that ever happened to me was by mistake. I can see the hand of God in many twists and turns that my life has taken. I am so blessed to walk the path of service and passion as she does the work she loves." Please help me welcome Reverend Uki MacIssac.
Good morning. Thank you for sticking with me here as I'm staying seated. I think my voice is probably loud enough. I don't know if I need this. Can you hear me without it in the back? Then it might actually be easier. All right? So, who in here believes in angels? Who in here does not believe in angels? All right, so we have agreement here. Just checking. So angels, that's my topic today. Angels have played a major role in my life from early on. But it's my experience that angels rarely show up in three-dimensional forms. Sometimes they do, but rarely. For the majority, angels work on an almost anonymous level. We have to have trained ears, eyes, and senses to perceive them and to see their subtle workings, because they often work behind the scenes, yes? Have you ever heard the saying that miracles are God's way to stay anonymous? I love that saying. So angels are God's helpers in service to humanity. And many of the events we call miracles can be counted as the secret work of angels. And I have a few stories to attest to that. Many years ago, I was on a trip through the Grand Canyon. This was a boat trip that my then husband and I had organized. We had waited for the permit for 7 years, having to renew it annually because most of the trips through the Grand Canyon are commercial. So we had a private party. And it was really a challenging trip, to tell you, at the least. And our group experienced some tensions because you're in extreme heat under partially life-threatening conditions, and it brings up the stuff in all of us, right? So one day we had a bit of a rest day, and I took a hike into a side canyon, and I really, really prayed hard to God and the angels to give me a sign that was on the right path and that everything would be okay. Well, waiting, walking, looking, hearing, nothing happened. Absolutely nothing. So, kind of disappointed, I walked back to the camp. And as I approached, we were camped right by the river there. As I approached the camp, I see something shiny. Couldn't really tell what it was. As I came closer, I started digging excitedly in the sand, and I found a horseshoe. The horseshoe was partly buried in the sand, And to me, that was the sign I had been asking for. Because in Germany, horseshoe especially is a sign of good luck. And as you can probably tell, I'm German, right? So this was the answer I had been waiting for. It didn't come exactly on my terms and the way that I had expected it, but it surely came. And it gave me a huge boost of confidence and patience with the process. So that was definitely an angel message. Angels seem to know when we really, really need a sign from the heavens. On a spirit retreat many years ago, in fact, it was called Miracles Retreat because it was largely based on the Course in Miracles. I'm sure many of you are familiar with that. So we took a hike through the backcountry as a group, and all of a sudden I sort of stopped straight in my back and in my tracks, and I bent down to pick up a beautiful feather. It was exquisite, and somebody said, "Oh, it's an owl feather." So I was really pleased, and I somehow felt though that that feather wasn't meant for me. So I handed to the leader of the retreat, a dear friend of mine, and as I hand her these owl feathers, she starts to cry. And I thought, what's going on here? Well, her sister had passed, and her sister always loved owl feathers. She had a whole collection of owl feathers. So when I gave her the owl feather, oh, I'm getting my angel bumps here right now, okay? So when I gave her that, it was a sign for Mary that her sister was thinking about her and was making contact from the spirit side. So that was another beautiful angel sign. And we have to be aware whether the message is for us or maybe, like in this case, for someone else. So angels, I really feel, they're sent by God, and they serve humanity, or they act like a bridge between God and the humanity. They are an integral aspect of most world religions, by the way, and they're not owned or private property of Christianity, you know? In all major world religions, angels play a role. They are mentioned in Islam, in Buddhism, in Hinduism. Sometimes they don't have a name, but interestingly, archangels Michael and Gabriel are present almost everywhere. In fact, sometimes the names sound a little different. So in Islam, Archangel Jibrail, you can recognize the name, is the archangel responsible for revealing the Quran to the Prophet Muhammad. So there again, angels play an important role. Now, there many traditions differ in how many are there, what exactly are their names, how do you spell the names, are they male, are they female? There's a lot of different versions out there. But I tell you this, what really matters is they are powerful allies in all areas of life. They're here to lend support, assist with healing and manifestation. And they are, as we saw, behind many of the so-called miracles. One of the most important principles I really wish to convey to you is that they're always there, but we have to ask. All right? There is a cosmic law called non-interference. As spiritualists, we're very familiar with that law. And so angels, except in rare cases, they do not interfere, but they help us from behind the scenes. And another lovely thing about angels is they don't judge you. And you don't have to ever feel that you're not worthy of their support. They're unconditional love. In fact, I think they're made of love and light. So, there's another definition here. Angels are benevolent beings sent by God, source, all there is, your favorite name for God, to benefit humankind. They were created by God from luminous matter at the very beginning of creation. So pure light, pure love, that's easy to remember, yes? Now, when you ask them for help, remember to ask mostly with a joyful heart. You know, sometimes we don't feel so joyful. Like when I was on that walk, I said, "Pretty please, you know, I'm hurting, give me a sign now." But it's also okay to ask from a place where we feel really happy and welcome them into your life. The more your senses are in tune, and that requires awareness of small details. I could easily, on that walk, have chatted and ignored that owl feather, right? But since I was really in tune with Mother Nature, I received it. And when we are not always so intent on this is how the answer should come, we're just open-hearted and we trust that the divine is there to assist us. Suddenly, the solution to a long-lasting problem may be found. Help becomes available in times when we really need it. And you know what? This may sound funny, but I believe Spirit talks to us even through things like billboards or license plates, right? Haven't you ever saw something you go, "Oh my God, that's exactly what I needed," many times? There you go. Beautiful. Another thing that helps with getting more and more in touch with them is to keep track of your encounters. And even when they seem, not a big deal, keep track of it. This way you train your mind to look more. And you know, angels, by the way, they really love feathers. Especially a white feather is often a little message from an angel. But some people claim that finding a shiny penny on the sidewalk can be a message from an angel too, yes? And this connection to God that they create, that sense of, I'm not alone, I am part of all that is. That's why I call them a bridge between humankind and Source. Now, one thing that's really important is the role of intention. The power of intent cannot be overstated. So be joyful, expect the best, but also be clear. And we don't always have to specify how something is gonna come to us, right? We just place our order to the universe and then we wait how it will manifest. Yes? Be not too specific how it's supposed to be. And you know, when we hurt, we may need immediate assistance. I can tell you that when I went through a divorce after my first marriage, I was hurting so badly. And there was a song at that time by Sarah McLachlan, Calling All Angels. Remember that song? And back then we still had CD players. So, you know, I put the CD player on endless loop and I sang it with her on and again and again. It became sort of a mantra. And that made me feel like I was not alone in all of this. So, other ways that angels communicate sometimes with us is through light. Obviously, since they're made from love and light, right? So we may see an unusual beam of sunlight, or as we look up, we may see a cloud formation that, oh darn, that looks just like angel wings. I'm sure all of you at some point or the other have seen that, right? How about angel numbers, right? The 11s, 12, 12. I tell you, my angel number is 1111. With a birthday of 11/1, I won't tell the year. And also, as I was getting married again, we chose 1111 as our anniversary. To me, angel numbers are gateways, and they are not necessarily, if we look for meaning for angel numbers, well, we might find different interpretations. But the most important thing is, it's a moment of paying attention. If you look at your clock and you see 12:12, pay attention. Say maybe, okay, God, all right, I know you're there. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you, angels. And you just continue with your day, all right? So they communicate with many different ways with us, and always have messages of support. But remember, non-interference. And you know, Hollywood loves movies about angels, right? And I thought even about putting a list together. But it's like, oh my God, there goes on and on and on. One of my favorite ones is actually Always. Remember Always? It's an old movie. I think it was with Richard Dreyfuss and Holly Hunter. And it really has a lot of spiritual truth in it, you know. And of course, Hollywood being Hollywood, sometimes they really distort things. Like in the movie Ghost, remember where at the end, you know, the dark forces grab the evil guy? Yeah, I don't think so. But that's Hollywood. So I want to tell you how about a few jokes? Are you ready for a few angel puns? Yeah. All right. What do angels put on their nachos?
What?
Guacamole. What kind of cigarettes do angels have? Holy smokes.
Oh.
That's cute. What does an angel say at a pastry shop?
What?
Do not be afraid.
Oh.
Oh. Why did the Italian get kicked out of heaven?
Oh.
He ate too much angel hair. What kind of water does an angel like?
What?
Holy water.
Holy water. You got it. All right. What do angels sing during Christmas time?
What?
No hell, no hell.
Oh no.
What kind of peppers do angels like to eat?
What?
Jalapenos.
Hell.
And one more, actually this is one of my favorite. Oh, no, I can't pass this one. Why did the angel go to the doctor? Because he had heartburn.
Heartburn.
Got it, right? All right. With what does an angel light a candle? With a match made in heaven.
Aww.
All right. I love little puns like that. And now I want to tell you one story, and this one is a bit more of a serious story. And it's called Traveling Angels. Maybe some of you have heard that one. Two traveling angels stopped to spend the night in the home of a wealthy family. The family was rude and refused to let the angels stay in the mansion's guest room. Instead, the angels were given a small space in the cold basement. As they made their bed on the hard floor, the older angel saw a hole in the wall and repaired it. When the younger angel asked why, the older angel replied, "Things aren't always what they seem." The next day, the pair came to rest at the house of a very poor but very hospitable farmer and his wife. After sharing what little food they had, the couple let the angels sleep in their bed where they could have a good night's rest. When the sun came up the next morning, the angels found the farmer and his wife in tears. Their only cow, whose milk had been their sole income, lay dead in the field. The younger angel was infuriated and asked the older angel, "How could you have let this happen? The first man had everything. Yet you helped him, she accused. The second family had little but was willing to share everything, and you let the cow die? Things aren't always what they seem, the older angel replied. When we stayed in the basement of the mansion, I noticed there was gold stored in that hole in the wall. Since the owner was so obsessed with greed and unwilling to share his good fortune, I sealed the wall so he wouldn't find it. Then last night, as we slept in the farmer's bed, the angel of death came for his wife. I gave him the cow instead. Things aren't always what they seem. All right, so, this story, in a way, while it's a bit of a serious story, it illustrates that even though here it seems like the angels did interfere a little bit, yes? But the people would never have known. And so it did not interfere with their choices or decisions. But the benevolent angel had, of course, the bigger picture and was able to provide in ways that obviously the younger angel still had a lot to learn, right? So one more thing about how we can tell when angels are here. You saw me earlier, I got my so-called angel bumps, right? I sometimes call them God bumps. Who in here has had God bumps, angel bumps? Yay, right. What is it? It's a sign our bodies are very smart. They're attuned to energy. Sometimes when the mind is the last one to catch on, right? The body feels. And those angel bumps to me are a sign that what was just said is number one, true, number two, important. So obviously I get a lot of bumps when I am in helping a client. So that's signs of confirmation. You may even feel like an electric current running through your body, right? Those of us, the more we are attuned to working with energy, the more we can really feel that in our bodies too. So I know I don't have that much time, but I want to introduce you quickly to my favorite archangels. That okay? Do I have enough time for that? I just say yes. All right, so number one, there is Michael. Michael is my favorite. And by the way, if you do some research, you will find that depending on the source, the angels are associated with different colors, different directions, even different jobs. That's very confusing. Maybe there is no one single source. But to me, Michael is in the west, and his color is blue. And that is something that I really have felt. And I know Michael is the one who brought me from Germany to California, because my spiritual growth was accelerated here. Now, how do I work with Michael, or how do I ask Michael to work with me? Mostly when it comes to cutting cords. Michael is often shown with a sword. And there's sometimes even where he has his foot on a demon or some ghastly, nasty. And so Michael frees us from energies that are not beneficial. So I call on Michael, I use my arm as if it was a sword, and I cut myself off from anything that may not be beneficial. Number two, Raphael. Raphael's color green, of course, heart chakra, color of healing. Raphael is associated with healing. Next one is Gabriel in the east. His color is white. It's often said that he brings awareness and enlightenment. That leaves us with one of the four famous ones, and that's Uriel, a direction of the north. Uriel is known for connecting us with our ancestry. His colors, he has two colors. It's ruby red and gold. And isn't it interesting that devotional candles are often that that deep red, right? And then a little golden candle in there. So 3 more, I know real quick, because I love to actually do a process to where I like to call on the 4 angels for the 4 directions, but then there is one above that to me is Metatron. Metatron often associated with sacred geometry. Then there is below Sandalphon. Sandalphon to me, by the way, is a female energy, represents Mother Earth and grounding. And lastly, Chamuel. Chamuel governs the heart. So there you have it, the 7 ones, 1 for each direction, above, below, and the heart. To me, that is a beautiful prayer of protection, if any situation demands it. And it's a way of feeling very grounded and centered in the world. You know, as humans, our feet are on the earth, our head is up in the heavens, right? So we are the living bridge, aren't we? So why not call on the angels that help us with that? So there is much, much more, but I want to just close with this. There is a beautiful invocation, and well, we're gonna do one other thing first. I want you to look at your neighbor in their eyes, make contact as best as you can, and we're gonna sing a little song to each other. And you know why? Because angels sometimes are also in human form. And I know, angels are not supposed to ever have been in human form, right? But aren't we all some kind of angel here to work on earning our wings? So here are the words. Angel, angel, you are an angel. I see an angel in your eyes. So, very simple melody. Look at your neighbor or somewhere you can make contact with. You gentlemen can look at each other. Angel, angel, you are an angel. I see an angel in your eyes. Woo! Beautiful.
Well, I have 10 minutes, sorry, I have 10 minutes for the testimony about the angels. I do missionary work in Mexico for 40 years.
Yes.
Every time before cross the border with my donation, I ask in the Lord, send me angels.
Mm-hmm.
And you do it because I cross the border, I go many ways, I distributed my donations, I back happy, I'm here. Now I have 86-year-old, and I feel blessed for the angels. That's all.
Thank you.
All right, beautiful. And I'm closing with this invocation that I picked it up somewhere here. So you can use this invocation if it speaks to you. Now in this invocation, it mentions some of the Christian angels, seraphim, or the dominions, principalities, and powers. If you don't relate to them, leave that out. But I'll share this with you. I now call on the Creator of all there is, the angels and archangels, thrones and dominions, principalities and powers, and virtues of heaven, cherubim and seraphim, and especially you, my dear guardian angel. Please intercede for me and help me to see miracles in my life and bring miraculous solutions to the problem I'm experiencing. And so it is. Isn't that a beautiful invocation?
Yes.
So next time you experience a little down, just imagine that anybody could be an angel right there, and you can give them the gift of your appreciation. And internally sing maybe to them, I see an angel in your eyes. It'll make for smiles, if nothing else. So thank you for allowing me to share.
Thank you.